We're supposed to find the derivative of f at x equals -4. So what that means is we're asked to find the slope at an instant. That's what this notation means. It means a derivative, so it means we're trying to find a slope exactly at x equals -4. Not the average between like -3 and -5. It's the slope between the slope exactly at -4. So we need an instantaneous slope. And so in a few other videos I probably go into detail about what a slope means, so you might need to skip ahead here. But if you haven't heard this before, that's what these formulas do. They find the slope between 2 points that are infinitely close to one another. We want to find out how fast this function is changing at x equals -4. So we can find the slope between 2 points that are infinitely close to x equals -4. So for instance, we can find the limit as x approaches -4 for this function f of x. And remember, whatever you plug in for x in here, it spits out a y value. So we're plugging in an x that's infinitely close to -4. It'll spit out some y value that corresponds to an x value that's infinitely close to -4. If you subtract that by f of a, if you subtract that by -4, then you're subtracting, if you're taking the limit as x approaches -4, you're subtracting two y coordinates that are being determined by x coordinates that are infinitely close to one another. And there's the rest of the formula down here. Right, because the old formula for slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That found us an average rate of change. But if we find out two x coordinates that are infinitely close to one another, then we're finding the slope at an instant. So that's the calculus magic. So once you plug it in, there's nothing left but to do what the notation says and keep simplifying. So f of x, that's just -2x squared plus 4x plus 13, according to the statement up above. That's what f of x equals. And I'm supposed to subtract that by what happens when I plug in -4. So if you plug -4 into this function, -4 squared is 16. 16 times -2 gives us -32. And then we have -4 times 4 makes -16. So going further back in the negatives, and plus 13. If I did everything right, which I gotta think about. Did I do that right? -4 squared is 16. That's -32 plus -16. That's -48 plus 13, -35. Yeah, okay. So we're minusing a -35 because we minus whatever this value is. In the denominator, that's just x plus 4. And so what's probably going to happen is we're probably going to be able to factor. So in the numerator, when you simplify this, you got 13 plus 35, that's 48. So -2x squared plus 4x plus 48 over x plus 4. I like my leading term to be positive when I'm trying to factor, so I'm just going to factor out a -2. That leaves me with x squared minus 2x minus 24. And then if we continue with that up here, two numbers that multiply to be -24 but add to be -2. Nobody knows. Scientists are still working on it. Oh, it's 6 and 4. Okay, so it's -2x minus 6 and x plus 4. I forgot my limit notation. And there, it's not meant to be magic. It's through logic that, well, I mean, through the, I guess it kind of feels like magic of the slope at an instant formula. The x plus 4 is canceled out, and now we can evaluate the slope. And I should have emphasized at the beginning, the whole reason we have to start rearranging is because you can't plug in -4 right now. -4 minus a -4 makes 0. But now that we have canceled these out, now we can plug in -4. The limit as x approaches -4 of -2x minus 6, that's something we can do. -4 minus 6 makes -10. -10 times -2 makes 20. So f prime of -4, that means what is the instantaneous slope at -4? We just found out that it's 20.